This video is about musicians. Hi, my name's Selena and welcome to my short film documentary on musicians at BHS. In this video, I have featured Jessica, Andrei, and Peter. Throughout their interviews, you'll notice that the music played in the background is actually them playing. So if you're interested in hearing them play, I'll link it at the end of the video. So sit back and enjoy the music.
To be honest, my parents actually, not forcefully, but they signed me up, me and my brother, for piano lessons when I was like 6, 7 years old. So how I started piano was because of my parents, but now I really like playing drums. I like to play, I don't know, any type of music. I used to hate classical music, but now I noticed that classical music is really beautiful, but I don't play it, but I play more songs that are more popular these days that I can play on the piano by ear, like the Titanic or See You Again by Wiz Khalifa or other songs. I like to play when I'm by myself because I have a lot of stage fright, and so when I was little, when I had recitals and stuff, I didn't like performing in front of people. And so my parents are from South Korea and they came about 20 years ago. And I guess music was just kind of comforting for them because English was not their first language, so a lot of the time they couldn't really relate with society or whatsoever, coming from an Asian American background. And so music really played a part between, I think, my parents, because they got a lot of relief from music and they really leaned on music because music's just kind of like a universal language. And so growing up, I had a lot of music in the house. My dad would always just crank up the stereo and always turn on music when he was making us up. And it's just like a joyful type of energy when you have music, and it just gives us better vibes. And whenever our family has dinners and stuff, we always have music in the background, even if it's just slow piano or slow violin music. It's just kind of fill the sound. I think it's never too late to start. I hated playing piano when you're little. Music's just it takes a lot of practice and a lot of time, and you have to be really patient because you just don't start and then you're good at the start, because you really need to have your foundation and then you need to grow off that. So I just think if you want to learn an instrument, just start now and start easy, and just be persistent. And if you really want it, then in a couple years people will see the difference from when you started.
I think a lot of things, it's about, I usually just see someone who's just really incredible at something and I just say I want to do that, kind of like how I do ceramics or yo-yo or whatever. It always starts with an inspiration, and kind of how I was raised. I grew up in a Baha'i family, and Baha'i, it's a religion, and they all sing a whole bunch, and there's this whole kind of group of youth, and one of them, Yasi Mesbah, who just came out with her EP, she was just this incredible artist, and I just wanted to be like her. So I just started playing ukulele, and it kind of took off from there. To tell you the truth, whenever singing was happening, I was not one of the people who was saying I would be I hate singing sucks. And so I actually learned how to play ukulele before I learned how to sing, and so I learned ukulele at around sometime in 8th grade, and I just started playing music. And at that point, I didn't know how to sing along. I honestly didn't know what it meant to sing on key. And then later on, I met my friend Sarah DeMusio. I was actually busking a couple years later. I had gotten better at ukulele, and so I was busking at the farmers market, and I saw another ukulele player, and I was like, oh my gosh, I should go play ukulele with this person. So I met her, and we've been kind of playing music ever since. We've kind of gone on very similar musical journeys. So we actually learned guitar together, and I've definitely learned a lot of things from her, and I hope she's learned a lot from me. Learn an instrument. even if that's about singing, like even if you want to be musical, you have to learn an instrument, whether that's guitar, piano, ukulele, or even your voice. And when I say your voice, it doesn't mean just singing along to things. It means learning to use your voice as an instrument, and that involves like reading music and stuff. And I'm really behind on that. I've just recently been learning how to use my voice as an instrument. But definitely ukulele and guitar are really useful. But I can tell you that when it comes to actually learning music and becoming literate in music, it comes down to learning piano, and that's something that I wish I had stuck with when I was younger. But it's kind of I'm kind of coming full circle, and I'm gonna start learning piano soon, just because now that I know what I don't know a little bit better, I know that I need to learn music better, and I think piano is the next step. Honestly, when I'm prepared to play a song, I can just play the song, you know? It's a lot like when you're sitting in a car and you're singing along to the radio. It just kind of comes naturally, and I've reached the point with guitar where I'm just playing guitar, and that's like the music I'm just singing along to. It's really instinctual once you're actually prepared. So, I mean, performing has never been an issue for me, just being in the drama department and everything, but I really do believe that if you're prepared and you're ready to do what you're about to do in front of a whole bunch of people, there's not a lot of need to be nervous. My favorite genre of music to play is definitely folk. And for a while it used to be like, oh, I only listen to folk because folk's the cool thing to listen to. But more and more I've been realizing that there's merit in all music. And I mean, like recently I've been noticing like how incredibly skilled screamo and metal bands are. And trust me, I've never listened to that stuff, but like just more and more, the more I learn about music, the more I realize how much skill every music type takes. So when it comes to listening, I just like to just say that I love all music, even though that's kind of dumb. I can say that I listen a lot to folk music because I really like to focus on the lyrics. But but I really do have I have respect for all music types. I can say that.
Ever since I first heard it, it was actually the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. So it was just wonderful hearing it. And I said I want to play that one day, and I just kept on begging my dad until 6th grade. Finally, I joined band, and he let me play. I usually just improv. Like I just play whatever comes to my mind at that point in time. I just look up YouTube, jazz backing tracks, and just start playing to that. To be honest, one thought that comes to my mind is just stay in this key. Do not change keys. Don't mess up. And I just kind of, I don't know, it's like a mental, I just go into a mental state that's just different than any other thing that I've ever met. There's this guy named James Carter. He's a professional musician. He's a professional soloist, and he's inspired me to do a lot of improv. My mother doesn't play any instrument, but my dad, he plays a lot of guitars. He has a mandolin, basses, a bunch of Les Pauls, and a bunch of other guitars. It's pretty cool. I play for fun mostly, but I have private lessons with a really good professional saxophonist. Get private lessons, at least, and get some sort of education. And practice every day and just play. Practice scales, play any. And if you want to become an improv musician, just start playing whatever you want. Because I was horrible when I started, and now I'm okay, I guess.